Thank you, Natalie. And there is a risk of a French lesson for Tunisia here in Education City, as Didier Deschamps' team have got the class act here so far. But the North Africans, and for so many teams at this tournament, this is much more than a football match. And with their rivals Morocco well placed to progress, they will leave nothing out there here tonight. 9 changes for France. They have a debutant as well. Axel Disasi of Monaco was not even in the original squad, but Presnel Kimpembe's injury has given him an opportunity. 7 of the starting lineup have 10 caps or fewer, and so many big names. Mbappe and co are on the bench. It is Mondonda in goal. A back 3, we believe: Disasi, Konate and Varane. Troman and Camavinga, the 2 wing-backs. Fofana and Chalmeni holding in midfield, with Veretout and Guendouzi supporting Kolo Muani in attack. 6 changes as well for Tunisia. Darman is their goalkeeper. The back 3: Talbi, Meria and Gandri. Keshrida and Malul are the wing-backs. Across midfield, Sehiri, Ladouni, Romhane and Slimane, with Kazri leading their attack. The former Marseille striker and Republic of Ireland World Cup player Tony Cascarino is alongside me for this game. 2 sides with plenty of changes, but the French still have the quality.
Absolutely, Nigel. I think the biggest challenge was in the opening few minutes of just trying to see how this French team lines up with so many changes, but they've certainly got enough attacking players to cause the Tunisian problems.
And it's Tunisia who will get the game underway, wearing all white here this evening. The French in their familiar dark blue. They are defending the goal away to our right-hand side in the first half, and this stadium is dominated by Tunisian supporters. There are plenty of empty seats at the moment, but I would imagine at least 2/3 of the ones which have been filled are occupied by supporters of the North African team, looking to cause a real upset here, and they must win to have any hope of making progress to the round of 16. For the French, job done for them already in terms of qualification, but they would like to win the group, and of course if they do, there is the tantalising prospect of a match with England in the quarter-finals, but that is some way down the line here at the 2022 World Cup at the moment. At the same time as this game, in the Al Janoub Stadium in Al Wakra, Australia and Denmark will be underway very shortly as well. Australia need just to avoid defeat there. Denmark must win, and of course Tunisia must win here and really hope that that game ends in a draw. If Tunisia and Denmark are both victorious, we could get down to various tiebreakers from goal difference onwards. And both teams are being kept a long time here in formations before kick-off time. It looks like a back 4 for the French, at least at the start of this game. But for Tunisia, they will have to do something they have never managed before, and that is beat France to stay in the 2022 World Cup. It promises to be another dramatic night of double-headers. We begin here in Group D, and then across the TalkSport network later on at 7 o'clock, attention will switch to Group C, as a long ball forward for the Tunisians almost causes the odd flutter for the French right at the start before the ball is swooped on by Mondonda.
Straight away, Tunisians trying to get on the front foot. They're playing with a 3 at the back, the Tunisians, and like you said, Nigel, France are going with a 4-1-3, 4-1-3, 2 up top, so...
And I'm sure we will see players like Mbappe, Dembele and Griezmann later on, because it's a balancing act for Deschamps. He will want to keep them in rhythm as well, with the round of 16 coming up at the weekend. The group winners will play at 3 o'clock on Sunday in the Alpha Mama Stadium against the runners-up in Group C. Could be Argentina against France possibly, and the runners-up will be at Al Rayyan 7 o'clock on Saturday, as Tunisia look to build on this near side. Keshrida, the right-sided wing-back with the ball down the line, which is deflected off Camavinga, and it will be a throw-in to Tunisia midway inside the French half on the near side, the Tunisian right. And it's all the way back towards Meria, one of the central defenders. 6 members of this Tunisian team born in France. and I'm sure thousands of their supporters inside the stadium may be in a similar situation. The tricolours have been unfurled away to our right-hand side, and there are a number of French supporters grouped behind the goal, currently being defended by Steve Mandanda. But it is great to see once again, Tony, the Tunisian fans have really embraced this World Cup.
Absolutely brilliant. Huge numbers, and as we'd expected, the Tunisians are really going to make it a high-impact game.
Wabi Kazri is down off the field on this near side. He was challenged by Camavinga, and our referee from New Zealand, Matt Conja, is just coming across to have a check on Kazri. We're watching our replay here. He wired into the challenge with Camavinga. He was the aggressor, but seems to have come off worst.
Certainly so. I don't think it's a yellow card, but Camavinga makes a heavy challenge on Kazri, which he's now laying down on the side of the pitch. Hopefully he's recovered. Yes, he's back on.
And play will restart with a drop ball, which is claimed by Steve Mandanda, who becomes France's oldest World Cup player here tonight at 37 years of age, 247 days. And it's his first game for the French since a 2-0 loss at home to Finland back in November of 2020. Hugo Lloris will have to wait to equal Lilian Thuram's caps record for the French, probably in the round of 16, as the French try and build on the far side, but it's quickly cleared away by Maloul, and it will be a throw-in to Tunisia. And these two sides have met 4 times previously in friendlies. The French have won 2 and drawn the others, and the first meeting was in preparation for the 1978 World Cup, when both sides qualified and Michel Platini was on the score sheet as Tunisia look to come forward with Romhane on the far side. He's quickly closed down though by Konate, one of a number of very inexperienced international players in this French team. Konate goes to ground to make the challenge, but Tunisia look to build again. It's laid off towards Kazri. Now Ramdani with a low cross into the penalty area, and it's swept behind, and it will be the first corner of the game to Tunisia.
Well, great play by Tunisia. It all started with Kazri as he burst forward, and I've got to say Ramdani makes a great effort. Twice in the opening couple of minutes he's got out on the left, and now they've got the rewards of a corner. Tunisia
0-0 here with 4 minutes played. Also 0-0 in Al Wakra between Australia and Denmark. Australia have matters in their own hands there, but great noise inside this stadium. The corner into the near post, and Mandanda stayed where he was, and Varane had to hook the ball away, only a couple of yards in front of his goal line. It's returned by Maloul, high into the penalty area. Mandanda chooses to punch under no pressure at all. Now Kazri looking to come in field on the far side. He's closed down though by Kolo Muani, but very quickly the white shirts surround him, and Tunisia here have made an excellent start.
Certainly haven't. I can't believe that Mandanda has not caught the ball. It was so comfortable to take it, and he opted to punch. But the pressure is all coming from Tunisia at the moment.
But Meria just makes a mistake on this near side, under pressure from Coman, and it will be a throw-in for France, taken by Matteo Guendouzi. Easy to spot with that shock of brown hair, the former Arsenal midfielder, but he's having a very good season with Marseille. Performed well for them in the Champions League. Now Varane, under pressure from Kazri, goes back towards Steve Mandanda again, who is now with Rennes, having moved from Marseille during the close season. Now Kolo Muani almost seizes onto a poor ball right down the centre, and Armand Darmen, the Tunisian goalkeeper, had to hop away from the challenger Kolo Muani and boot the ball into the stand on the far side.
Well, Muani looks very, very quick, quite direct. It certainly looks like he can occupy the centre half today. Oh, it's the boos. Well, the noise is deafening.
And it's every time the French players have the ball here. This will feel like an away game for them here in Education City in the northwest of Doha. The French support heavily outnumbered by the Tunisians at the start of this game, and the ground is filling up rapidly, and it's all filling up with Tunisians. Now Konate, the Liverpool central defender, did not appear in the World Cup qualifiers, only made his debut in June, and this is 5th appearance for the French this evening. It is a very inexperienced team, full of quality, full of big name clubs, but at the same time They are having to gel here against a side who are extremely motivated, as Romhani with another promising run for Tunisia on the far side. He goes down and the referee has given a free kick. It was an untidy challenge by Disasi, and it's a free kick for Tunisia about 20 yards from the byline on the far side, their left.
Well, Wandami again just breaks past, but gotta say, Shamani just stays with him. He thinks he's made a good challenge, but the referee deems otherwise. Yeah, probably just a foul.
Free kick for Tunisia on the far side. It will be an in-swinger from Wabi Kazri. All of the central defenders are forward here for Tunisia as the noise rolls down from the stands here at the Education City Stadium in Doha. Kazri with the free kick in towards the near post, flicked on and flicked in, and Tunisia have taken the lead, and it's the central defender Nana Gandry with a brilliant finish. The French statuesque at the back, whipped in by Kazri, and Gandry scored his first international goal. It could not have been better timed for Tunisia, but the flag has been raised for offside and it won't count.
Well, Grandy there, I'm pretty sure, is a tad offside. An unbelievable finish as it gets whipped in with pace, and Gandry catches him at the outside of his right boot and beats Mondanda comfortably. I'm pretty sure it's going to be offside.
Offside has been given by a VAR. The VAR official here tonight looking after the offside calls is Taleb El Mari of Qatar, and that's an escape for the French because the defending there was fairly suspect.
Well, these fans, the Tunisian fans, are lifting this Tunisian team incredibly, but what hope that's already given them. It was only a tad offside. A great ball in for kick.
9 minutes played, Tunisia 0, France 0 here on TalkSport in Group D at the 2022 World Cup. Still goalless between Australia and Denmark at the start of play. France 6 points, Australia 3, Denmark and Tunisia with a point apiece. Coming up at 7 o'clock on TalkSport, Alex Crook and Stuart Pearce will bring you Poland against Argentina. That's in Group C. Over on TalkSport 2, Saudi Arabia against Mexico, with Mark Wilson and David Connolly. And that group has all 4 teams, like this one, who can still qualify for the round of 16. Tantalisingly, at this stage, we could have France against Argentina in the round of 16 for the second successive World Cup. We will have to wait and see. But the French, interestingly, have drawn their final group game at all 4 previous tournaments, coached by Didier Deschamps, and they've only won all 3 group games once at the World Cup, and that was when they were the host nation and of course won the tournament back in 1998 when Deschamps was part of the playing side. But Tunisia here have made a very impressive start with 11 minutes played, 0-0, but they've been asking all the questions here. Throwing for them midway inside the France half. It's launched towards the edge of the penalty area. Disasi is able to head the ball away. Gandry stoops in to knock the ball clear, and now there's an overlap for Tunisia down the far side again, but the ball forward is just cut out. Quickly returned though by Maloul up towards the edge of the penalty area, but now France will try and break, but Guendouzi has been robbed by Gandry, and it's wide towards this near side. Quickly played forward by Keshrida towards the corner flag, and Slimane is just levered off it by Konate, and the French will have a goal kick.
Well, the French have started really poorly. They look really shell-shocked by the continual pressure up by Tunisia. They are playing 2 up front. France with Kingsley Coman alongside Mouani, and they both have got blessed with loads of pace, but they just can't seem to get to the ball to them quick enough, the French team.
And we're just seeing on the big screen here confirmation that Gandry was maybe a shoulder offside with the goal, but Tunisia coming forward again now. It's worked wide towards this near side. Keshrida on the overlap, high cross to the far post again. Mondonda stays on his line, and Axel Disasi has to head the ball behind for a corner.
Well, again a cross coming. Disasi on the far post, the right back is there to give away another corner, but it's been continual pressure for the opening 15 minutes of this game.
Khazri will take the corner for Tunisia on the far side, their second of the game, 0-0 so far. He's whipped it in, looking to, I think, go for goal there. In the end, it ripples the roof of the netting, but real whip and bend on that from Wabi Khazri, but just too high this time.
Yeah, not the best of corner there, tries to really hit him with pace. But a bit of breathing space now for France. I think they've got to settle down in this game. They really do look like they're not liking the pressure that Tunisia are putting on them.
Don't forget the round of 16 starts this weekend. Sunday, 7 o'clock on TalkSport, England against Senegal. It begins Saturday at 3 o'clock with Netherlands against USA. Khazri has won the ball back inside the penalty area. He then goes down under the challenge of Camavinga, and there's a quizzical look towards the officials, but the referee from New Zealand waves away the appeals. But is he just waiting to hold play here? It did seem that Khazri went down very easily, and the replay bears that theory out.
No, it's never a penalty. Konaté just comes across Khazri, but it's not a penalty. Again, France suffering. I'm not sure that Didier Deschamps at all has got this formation right, because they look so uncomfortable in this game.
It is difficult to see what the formation is. Veretout is sort of playing slightly behind Guendouzi, who is almost being used as a left winger, which is not really his favoured position, as Slimane looks to chase a long ball forward again, and safety first from Konaté to step across and just smash the ball high into the crowd. This is the French team learning on the job at the moment. Another free kick's been conceded, this time by Jordan Veretout for the challenge on Ledouni, and a free kick for Tunisia, this time on the right.
Well, you mentioned Veretout. He's alongside Camavinga, and down the left side of France they've been pressurised a number of times already.
Nearly 14 minutes played on TalkSport at the 2022 World Cup, and this developing into a fascinating evening here at the Education City Stadium. Free kick high into the penalty area, but this time the delivery from Malou was too close to Mondonda, who makes a very simple claim. High ball downfield for him. Kolo Muani will chase on the far side, and he's almost won the ball back, and indeed he has. And he tries to deliver the ball into the penalty area, but Rampane, who initially made the error, recovers his footing, but sends the ball spinning behind for the first French corner.
Well, an opportunity for the French with Konaté, and certainly Varane coming forward. It's a slightly different problem for Tunisia.
Kingsley Coman will take the corner kick on the far side. It's an outswinger, flicked on by Guendouzi, almost dropped for Varane, but it's sliced behind in the end by Gandry, and it will be another corner kick here for the French. Still goalless between Australia and Denmark. If you want commentary on that game, retune to TalkSport 2. Coman again with another corner, another outswinger, looking for Chameni, but it's brought clear up towards the halfway line. A powerful run forward for Tunisia, and in the end Camavinga has to come across to try and hold up Ledouni, but he skips away from Camavinga, who then brings him down, and it's another free kick here for Tunisia, and Didier Deschamps is coming out towards the edge of his technical area, rather like a school teacher looking to sort out some nonsense inside the schoolyard and telling the referee to calm down.
Well, Khazri is loving this game. He's really enjoying it. He's played his football in Saint-Etienne, part of his career, and he's just stuck it through the legs of Camavinga, who's playing left back up against him.
Well, you can hear the noise from the Tunisian supporters here. It is absolutely fantastic. They are predominantly grouped away to our left-hand side, but they have turned up the volume from the very start of this game. Zakiri on the far side looks to find Khazri. The French will try and clear, but in the end Tunisia win it back, and it's Keshrida down the right-hand side. Further forward, Slimani with the cross in, but it's cut out well by Guendouzi at the near post, and he quickly turns, head up, looking to feed it further forward, but the challenge comes in on Kolo Muani. He looks for the free kick, nothing given though. Sekiri with a high ball wide towards the far side again. A low ball in towards the near post. Tunisia have it, and in the end the shot from Ramdani just bobbles away towards the near post area and behind for a goal kick. But defensively at the moment, the French looking very suspect.
Well, Ramdani, who started the game really, really well, he just gets across for Varane. Okay, it doesn't break for him, but again, bodies and numbers in the box have been a problem for this French team so far. So Slimani as well. Adding to that, the front three of Tunisia have done really well at the start of this game.
And it's Ben Slimani, only 21 years of age, born in Denmark and plays for Brøndby in that country, but he's been a very good foil for Wahbi Khazri in the opening 17 minutes here, often providing the muscle which gives Khazri the space to try and create around the French penalty area as they give the ball away again cheaply, but it's quickly won back. Here is Shameni wide towards this near side, and Eduardo Camavinga of Real Madrid, of course mainly used as a defensive midfielder at club level, but playing as a fullback this evening as the ball wide towards Kolo Muani on this near side is slid out by Malou, and it will be a throw-in to France. 0-0 in both of the games here at the moment in Group D, which means France and Australia would make progress, and Denmark and Tunisia would both head out of the competition. They drew 0-0 in their opening game and then lost their second one. Now Varane wearing the captain's armband this evening, and you can hear the boos ringing out from the Tunisian supporters of the French try and bill. Fofana wide towards the right hand side, back towards Disasi, who has had a rather torrid opening to this game on his international debut. Now Camavinga looks to work the 1-2 with Guendouzi, but he's quickly closed down. The challenge comes in from Kashiri, and it will be a throw-in for Tunisia, the final touch of Guendouzi. 19 minutes played, Tunisia 0, France 0 here live on TalkSport. Don't forget, 10 o'clock on Saturday on TalkSport, Tyson Fury against Derek Chisora, live and exclusive on TalkSport from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the WBC World Heavyweight title. And you can join us on air via the smart speaker or on the TalkSport app for free. And with these double-headed games across the TalkSport network at the end of the group stage here, the best thing to do is download the TalkSport app, and you can swipe between which commentary you prefer. Two games at the moment very finely poised as Tunisia look to come forward again with Kashrida on this near side, further forward to Slimani, but he's just run out of room as the challenge comes in from Kanate, and the French will have a throw-in. Tony Cascarino.
Well, I've got to say, the French at the moment can't string three passes together. They're being pressurised, and Tunisia will win it back as quick as they can. They've got to get this ball down and move it.
Now a high ball wide to the far side, looking for the pace of Coman, and Malou could have one or two issues out there, but not at the moment, because it goes shoulder to shoulder with Coman and comes away with the ball. And now on the far side, Rampane tries to bring it forward for Tunisia, but he just runs the ball out of play, and it will be a throw into France.
Well, brilliant play there by the left back, Maul. He kept with Kingsley Coman, never let him go, didn't give him any breathing space, and then made a great challenge.
And on our monitor we can see Kylian Mbappe sitting on the bench for France. The way this game has started for them, we may be seeing the likes of Mbappe and Griezmann fairly shortly.
Well, they certainly have been missing in every area. They've made 9 changes, but you can see it's had a massive effect on the team all over the pitch.
Now a loose pass from Camavinga falls to Khazri. He works a 1-2 with Slimani down the right hand side, but Kanate slides in to make the challenge for France, and then Khazri receives another challenge on this near side from Camavinga, and looks rather disconsolate as the throw-in goes the French way.
Well, the captain of Tunisia, Khazri, started the game brilliantly. He is charging everywhere.
Of course, the former Sunderland player, now with Montpellier, better known perhaps for his time with Saint Etienne in Ligue 1 when he was a very popular figure down there. Now Camavinga finding the former Aston Villa man, Jordan Verretou. Coman looking for the ball from Disassi on the far side, and he receives it, but in the end the French are forced back towards the halfway line. Verretou, now Charmeni. And the French here gradually finding their feet, but it's taken them 22 minutes to really have some controlled possession in the game. Now Camavinga has given the ball away to look to try and find Verretou. And Tunisia win it back, and we thought they would come here with a fairly defensive mindset, but so far anything but. Although Darman's clearance was wayward on this near side, it was quickly won back by Keshrida. But here is Camavinga with an injection of pace, poked into the penalty area, almost found Kolo Muani. Now it's back towards Guendouzi. Here is Verretou, Charmeni, and every single outfield player is now inside the Tunisian half as Rafa Varane, winning his 89th cap this evening, plays it wide to the far side. Of course, another player who came into this tournament lacking fitness after a hamstring injury playing for Manchester United against Chelsea back in October, but he's the French captain here tonight. The ball forward towards Kolo Muani is cut out by Ladouni, and it's quickly played forward by Khazri over the top right-hand side, looking for Keshrida, but Konate comes across to make the challenge, and he almost loses out, Konate, and it was rather fortunate there that the ball spun away off Keshrida behind for a goal kick, because the Liverpool defender was outwitted.
Well, I think Konate gets away with this slightly, just gets a touch, and I've got to say, again a break, and Didier Deschamps really has to look about his team, how they're playing, because they're getting caught on the ball certainly in the wide areas, and I'm not sure about Camavinga at left back, because they seem to have targeted him in the first 20 minutes of this game.
And the Tunisian songs continue off the field here. It's a very tight, almost intimate arena here, three-tiered, very close to the pitch, and it will be reconfigured into a university athletic stadium following the World Cup, and the capacity cut to 25,000. We are at the heart of the Doha University complex here. As Tunisia win a throw-in on this near side. They played in this stadium in their opening game, a goalless draw against Denmark, but they have won here previously. They beat Oman last year in the quarter-finals of the Arab Cup. Keshrida delivers a corner across into the penalty area, which is blocked by Guendouzi. Now Guendouzi can bring the ball clear. Had support from Kolo Muani. In towards Charmeni on the edge of the French penalty area. They quickly look to turn defence into attack here with the pace of Coleman. Kolo Muani makes the run forward, but it was an opportunity, but the shot lashed towards goal by Coleman is wide of the near post.
Well, that was a brilliant break by the French. Incredible pace. 5 French bodies got forward, and it gets played inside to Kingsley Coman out on the left, and he's got the goal at his mercy. Okay, it's a slight acute angle, but his effort was pretty wasteful on his left foot.
It was Fofana who made the burst forward initially. As it's played forward now by Sakiri, midfielder who is wearing a mask to protect a facial injury here, and it's all the way back towards Armand Darman in the end. He was not played for his club at all this season. He wasn't involved in any of the World Cup qualifiers either, but Ayman Mathlouthi, a veteran goalkeeper, 73 caps, is only on the bench here. As Tunisia try and come forward again with Meria, one of the 3 central defenders. It's cut out. Gandry, who had the goal disallowed earlier on, challenges Coman and comes away with the ball, and Rondane plays it wide to the far side as Tunisia, wearing all white, continue to ask most of the problems here. Still 0-0 in the match in Al Wakhra between Australia and Denmark. At the moment, that will be enough for Australia. As Tunisia try and come forward again now, but Khazri made his burst forward from an offside position, and it will be a free kick to France.
Well, as we got just over 25 minutes gone, I can't see Tunisia keeping up this pace of this game so far. They've done it brilliantly. It's a big ask for them because they've really worked their socks off in this opening period.
Well, Jalal Kadri, their coach, has said he'll probably resign if they lose this game tonight or don't qualify for the round of 16. He's kept 8 clean sheets in 10 games since being appointed in January. He came in after the previous coach was dismissed after Tunisia lost in the quarter-finals of the African Cup of Nations. As the French try and build again, Camavinga on this near side. He's got Veratu making the run further forward down the left, but it's infield to Guendouzi, and then Camavinga has been caught by Keshrida, and he receives the game's first yellow card.
Yeah, I think there's no debate there. Camavinga gets tackled. Keshrida comes in from behind, just catches his foot. Keshrida.
Keshrida, one of the French form players in the team, plays for Atromitos in Greece. He receives the game's first yellow card here with 28 minutes played on TalkSport. No goals in either game so far in Group D. Over on TalkSport 2, Joe Shedden and Dean Ashton are commentating on Australia against Denmark. If you download the TalkSport app and go to the live commentary section, you can swipe between the two games currently underway, and also do likewise later on in Group C. Poland, Argentina here on TalkSport. Saudi Arabia against Mexico from Lusail will be on TalkSport 2. Could be Lionel Messi's final World Cup match this evening, so it's well worth tuning in. France, of course, already know they'll be in the round of 16. As Fofana loses out on the far side, and Tunisia take a quick throw in. They try and break, but Fofana quickly comes back to make the challenge on Maloul. But here is Sakhiri, and now Ladouni wide towards Maloul again. A low cross into the penalty area, looking for Kadri, and sliding in to make the challenge was Konate, and Tunisia have a throw in on the far side. It's taken quickly inside the penalty area. Ladouni down the left plays the cross in, headed towards goal. It was deflected and saved by Mondonda. It was Slimane who had to really flex those neck muscles to generate the power with that cross, whipped into the penalty area, but Mondonda grateful for the deflection which took the power out of the header.
Again, great pressure by Tunisia. Razi working his socks off, and Slimane can't quite get full contact on the ball as he got crossed in. In the end, it was a simple save from Mondonda.
Tunisia scored very few goals in qualification, and it was an own goal from Mali which saw them through their two-leg playoff to reach the World Cup. And they're in their 6th World Cup. They've never got beyond the group stage. They gave England a good game in the opening match in 2018 before Harry Kane scored a winner right at the very end. They did beat Panama to sign off in that group, which is their only success in 16 games at a World Cup, but they've never failed to score. And if they score here tonight, that could be enough, as Keshrida comes forward again now, down the right-hand side. Slimane makes the run to the near post, but the cross from Keshrida is blocked by Veratu, and Tunisia have another corner.
Well, I've got to say, Mondani in midfield for Tunisia made an unbelievable challenge. Used his upper body strength to win the ball, and then set Tunisia away. It's again rewarded with a corner.
There are Tunisian fans all over this stadium, and the noise they are generating must be inspiring their side here. The French support behind the goal away to our right, which Tunisia are currently attacking. Well, they must feel heavily outnumbered and a long way from home here. But it's a corner kick for Tunisia. Their third of the game. In towards the near post, headed behind by Camavinga. And corner number 4 for Tunisia as they look to try and apply some pressure here. And the movement from set pieces, Tony's been very good so far.
Yeah, whipped in ball, Malou. Got a decent cross in, but their crosses have been decent. They've troubled France.
Malou will take another corner on this near side, in towards the near post, headed away by Camavinga. Slimani will recover. He delivers another ball high back into the penalty area. Good leap to clear though from Disasi. And France will try and break, but it's recovered by Laduna, who spreads it wide to the far side, but Talbi unable to keep the ball in play, and France will have a throw in here with nearly 32 minutes played on TalkSport. 0-0 on TalkSport 2. It is also Australia 0, Denmark 0. So at the moment the Socceroos are heading into the round of 16 along with the reigning world champions. France on the halfway line now with Youssouf Fofana of Monaco, another player with very little international experience behind him, and they've given the ball away again, and both Fofana and Veretout are being swamped at times as Ladouni holds off the challenge of Kolo Muani and eventually wins a throw-in for Tunisia. Every decision, every throw-in, every corner kick has been cheered to the echo by the Tunisian supporters all around this stadium at the moment.
Well, I've got to say, so many players in the French team are losing the ball. Veretout there, again in a good position, gives it away. He's not the only one guilty. Certainly, Slimani has done similar things in midfield. They're not being the generals in the middle of midfield, winning the ball and moving it. They're second best.
Now Wabi Kazri has been fouled by Veretout, and it will be a free kick for Tunisia, 10 yards inside the French half, and they are waving the central defenders forward again because maybe they can sense a weakness here. Free kick is now played high to the far side and delivered to the far post, and Gandry was waiting, and once again Camavinga scooping in to head the ball behind for a corner, and that was potentially a goal-saving challenge.
Well, it was an easy free kick that just got played out wide. I've got to say, Gandry was coming in round the back, and full credit to Camavinga because he keeps his eye on the ball and gives away a corner, but Gandry was directly behind him.
Malou will take the corner kick again. On this near side, whipped into the near post. Camavinga rises to clear once again. It's won back by Slimani, but it breaks kindly for the French, and it's Fofana over the halfway line. He's got the pace of Coleman inside, but his ball forward intended actually strikes Kolo Muani, and it breaks back to Tunisia.
Wasted opportunity there by Muani for the French.
And you can tell by the roars, Tunisia are moving forward again now on this near side with Malou, and Malou works the 1-2 with Ladouni, crossed in looking for Sahiri on the penalty spot, but the French will clear, and the pressure on them at the moment is unrelenting with 35 minutes played on TalkSport, but it's still goalless in both games in Group D.
Malou again, just going down the right side.
Keshrida with a low cross into the penalty area, cleared by Varane, straight to Wabi Kazri, left foot shot from him, beaten away by Mondonda, and he was grateful that Disasi was in the right place at the right time to hammer the ball away for a corner.
Someone tell the French there's a game going on here at the moment, because they're second best, and Kazri hit the ball there, and okay, Mondonda gives away a corner, but it's straight at the keeper. The captain's having some game for Tunisia.
Just listen to that noise. Malou with another corner for Tunisia. They're fifth in the first half. It will be another in-swinger. In towards the near post, headed away though by Konate. But it's won back and then fired towards goal, but it's over the top from Romdane. And he will also be penalised for some shirt pulling before he controlled that. Didier Deschamps out towards the edge of his technical area. Arms folded. Well, he sent out an experimental lineup, and at the moment there are test tubes exploding all over the place.
Well, I can only see changes at half-time for Didier Deschamps. I think he'll be taken back what he's witnessed so far. His team are really battling to just stay in this game, even though it's 0-0.
Well, they've won 6 games on the trot at World Cup finals. Another win here today would equal the European record set by Italy back in the 1930s, but that seems some way off at the moment. They tend to drop points in group stages, and I think if you offered them a point at this stage, they would take it. They have failed to record maximum points in their last 11 major tournaments going back to Euro 2000. And at the moment, Tunisia are the better side as Camavinga clears away. Kashuria though wins it back, and in the end it's a sliding challenge by Camavinga deep inside his own penalty area. He rolls the ball into the 6-yard box where Rafa Varane was waiting. He launches it long downfield, but Kingsley Coman loses out in the air, and there's a break on the far side for Ladouni again up towards the edge of the penalty area. Low ball in towards the near post. Limane just unable to control, and France will clear. But Didier Deschamps is maybe learning one or two things about his players here, and the depth of this French team may not be quite as extensive as we thought at the very highest level, too.
Well, I would say Didier Deschamps got to take some responsibility in this lineup, because they look like strangers on the pitch at the moment, the French team.
There too, fighting Guendouzi. The shrill whistles all around the Education City Stadium once again as the French have possession deep inside their own half with Varane. Wide towards the far side again, and Assassi, who is urged to bring the ball forward and find Kingsley Coman. Back in field towards Chalmeni. Varane and Chalmeni, the only survivors from the team which started against Denmark. Of course, Kylian Mbappe scored 2 goals in that game to ultimately win the game for the French. And I'm sure if it carries on like this, we will see him at some stage here tonight. 0-0 with 38 minutes played. 0-0 as well over on TalkSport 2 between Australia and Denmark. Denmark, semi-finalists in the Euros last year, could be heading out in the group stage here. Nice turn from Kolo Muani now. Looks to shrug off a challenge of Merida. He's got support from Fofana, who tries to play it back to Kolo Muani, but it's brought clear by Talbi towards the far side, the Tunisian left. He's quickly closed down though by Fofana, and the French have it back on the halfway line with Varane, one of very few experienced players inside this French lineup tonight. Fofana on the far side. It's left to Coman, an injection of pace from him. Now Vertu wide towards this near side, and Camavinga high to the far post, but there's a slip by Roland Kolo Muani, and the ball balloons high over his head, and Tunisia will clear, and Konate inside the centre circle under pressure from Kasri goes all the way back towards Steve Mondonda. It's great stuff, Tony, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great, and I've got to say, absolute top notch from Tunisia in this game so far.
But here is Coman on the far side for France, looking to take on Maloul. A low cross into the penalty area, cleared away on the stretch by Gandry. But Tunisia just beginning to drop a bit deeper as we head towards half-time here. 5.5 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport. Wall-to-wall World Cup coverage inside the Education City Stadium here tonight, where the world champions are being given a stern examination by Tunisia as a high ball into the penalty area over the head of Mouani, and it's cleared away by Keshrida on this near side, and it will be a throw in to France. And the home crowd, the Tunisian crowd, not too happy about the decision, but you know what I mean.
Well, it might as well be a home game. There's the noise they're making, the Tunisian fans, and it's just a little low in the game, which I think the French would appreciate.
But now it's been given away by the French. Here is Kasri, twisting and turning away from Camavinga over the halfway line. He's got support from Ladouni, but he invites the challenge from Konate. Camavinga clears, but here is Konate again, and now Guendouzi. A number of players who were featuring in the French under-21 side less than a year ago, here in action at the World Cup tonight. Lovely run forward now from Kingsley Coman, bobbing and weaving away from a couple of challenges. Wide to Dessassi on the French right, infield again to Guendouzi. His pass wide to this near side behind Camavinga, straight out of play for a Tunisian throw-in. And just look at the Tunisian coach, Tony, Yann El Kadri, marching around his technical area, because maybe he knows his team have got to capitalise on these moments of dominance.
Yeah, it's been from the start of the game, as they kicked off till now, that they've dominated nearly in every aspect of the match. I think the French, especially on the right side of their back line, Dessassi has to get more forward and help Kingsley Coman out.
More action coming up tomorrow at 3 o'clock on TalkSport in Group F. Croatia against Belgium. Second and third from the World Cup back in 2018, but they're playing for survival tomorrow. Over on TalkSport 2, Canada against Morocco, also at 3 o'clock. As Tunisia come forward again now with Slimani. He's got Kasri in space, right hand side, deep inside the penalty. Low ball right across the face of goal and scrambled behind by Disasi. And it's desperate defence from the French, but Kasri was offside, and that's a real let-off for them.
Well, that was a really tight call because it was great play in the middle of midfield, as Slimani got through just a tad offside as he passes the ball behind Camavinga, and Kasri can't create anything from that opportunity, but just a tad offside. But a brilliant piece of play by the Tunisians.
And if you joined us late in the game, Tunisia had an early goal disallowed for offside from Nader Gandra. Also tomorrow, Group E will conclude at 7 o'clock on TalkSport. Germany against Costa Rica, Japan against Spain at the same time will be over on TalkSport 2. And a reminder, Sunday 7 o'clock, round of 16, England against Senegal. We will have wall-to-wall build-up here on TalkSport on Sunday ahead of that game. The round of 16 begins Saturday 3 o'clock, Netherlands against USA. If the French win this group, they'll be in action on Sunday at Alpha Mama at 3 o'clock against the runners-up in Group C. Of course, if things fall a certain way, it could be the French against the English in the quarter-finals. The runner-up in this group at Al Rayyan, 7 o'clock on Saturday against the winner of Group C, which is wide open at the moment. 90 seconds of normal time to play in the first half here. Tunisia 0, France 0, Australia 0, Denmark 0. The situation in Group D across the TalkSport network at the 2022 World Cup. And France, I think, would be happy to get to half-time goalless to maybe try and regroup and make one or two changes. Camavinga comes in field from the left-hand side, jab forward to Kolo Muani, now Guendouzi, back to Vertu, and Shameni takes over once again, right towards this near side, and Kolo Muani, so there's no real authentic forward inside the area at the moment. Slimani brings it clear, he's passed over by Kolo Muani, but the referee says he won the ball, and Kashrida will bring the ball clear for Tunisia anyway.
Well, there's a number of choices here for Deschamps at half-time because Guendouzi's not done enough. I would also put Shamani in that bracket there too. All three of them in midfield have been second best. The pressure has come from all over the pitch from the Tunisian team in this first half.
But it's still 0-0, and we have seen a number of teams dominate and not score the goals at the right times. It seemed to be a perennial problem for USA in their group before they eventually came through with England. Will Tunisia regret this pressure, Tony, not leading to a goal as we enter 2 minutes of added time?
Well, the way they played in this first half, I can't believe, Nigel, they haven't scored in the tournament because, you know, it's been so intense, and okay, they haven't had a golden opportunity, goal disallowed, but they've been so good in this first half. I just wonder if they can keep this consistent pressure on, especially this French team.
They are into added time as well in Al Wakra. Still Australia 0, Denmark 0, and at the moment the French and the Australians are going through. The tricolours are being waved behind the goal away to our right, but it's been a fairly awkward watch for the French fans inside the stadium so far, as Tunisia with a throw-in due to pressure on this near side. It's in towards Sahiri, but Sahiri fouls Camavinga, and it will be a throw-in. We've seen Camavinga, Tony, play superbly as a defensive midfielder for Real Madrid this season. He is not a left-back, and he's shown that tonight.
Yeah, and he's really had a hard job dealing with them. Don't get me wrong, the Kashrida down the right side, he's pushing forward. Slimani's been an handful for him, so he's had a real tricky night so far. I feel a little bit sorry for him because he's not getting much help. Guendouzi's in front of him, but Guendouzi hasn't really got back north there to help him, give him a hand.
Now Shamani turning away from Kasri. Good ball forward to Fofana. He's got pace on the outside from Coman, but Fofana goes himself. Low shot from him is blocked on the edge of the penalty area by Gandry. And Tunisia can break now. 3 players forward. Right before half-time, Slimani finding Ladouni. An overload for them down the left-hand side. Kasri coming in field. Right foot shot from him is too high. And that was an opportunity for Tunisia right on half-time.
Yeah, I think there he's taken the wrong option there, Kasri. He's had a superb first half, but he's taken a shot from best part of 25 yards and blasted it over the bar.
Well, that's half-time. The Tunisian supporters rise to acclaim their team. It's been some first half from them against the world champions. They've made all of the running in the game. They had a goal disallowed. Nada Gandry with a brilliant finish to dispatch the free kick from Wabi Kasri, but he just made the move offside. They've also forced Steve Mondonda into a couple of saves. The French, in contrast, have offered very little with this experimental, patched-up team. At half-time, it is Tunisia 0, France 0. Thank you, Natalie. Don't look to be any changes to either side made at half-time. And Tony, from a French point of view, that is surprising.
Yes, absolutely, Nigel. I think the way they played in the first half, the only thing I can say to that is that Didier Deschamps knows he's going to qualify into the knockout stages and wants to keep everybody that's going to be in the next lineup as sharp as they can be and maybe give them 25-30 minutes.
A reminder of the two teams then. France, Mondonda in goal. A back four, Disasi, Konate, Varane and Camavinga. Fofana, Shamani and Bertu in midfield with Guendouzi and Coman either side of Kolo Muani. The Tunisian team, Darman in goal, Talbi, Meria and Gandry the back three. Kashrida and Maloul are the wing backs. Shahiri, Ladouni, Ramdani and Slimani supporting Kasri. And in the first half, Tunisia had 4 attempts on goal, 2 on target. The French had 2 attempts on goal and none on target. And Steve Mondonda was by far the busier goalkeeper, the veteran who was nearly 38 years of age. And Tunisia, wearing all white, playing from right to left in the second half towards the bulk of their wonderful support. On the halfway line now with Talbi, one of the 3 central defenders who have had a very comfortable evening, it must be said. Basically marking Roland Kolo Muani, and at times he's been so far pulled wide, there's been no one for France inside the penalty area at all. Yeah,
he's had no support around him. I think Kingsley Coman's been about the closest. Guendouzi's played a left wing role, but not really played as a winger.
He's not a winger, is he?
No, he's not. He's a midfielder for me.
Here's an opportunity for Shahiri trying to blast down the centre, but it's cut out by Disasi. Once again, Mondonda was ponderous coming off his line, but Tunisia play it quickly. Slimani from the throw-in is onside, pulls it back towards Kasri. He miscontrols, then he goes down. Appeals for a penalty, waved away by the referee. That could be revisited. Kasri is down. Now at the other end, Kolo Muani is chasing forward. He is being caught. A free kick has been given to France, and Tunisia are looking for the decision at the other end.
Well, it's very hard to see. I'm getting another replay from it. It's a tough one. I'm always here on the caution.
He got the ball.
He got the ball first, yeah. Shamani, just in front of Karazi. And the referee's come all the way back to see Karazi, so I think he's made the right call, the ref. I think he's had a really good game, by the way, as well.
Yeah, Matt Concher from New Zealand is our referee. He has a fellow countryman as one of the assistants. The other, Tavita Matsani, is from Tonga. And our fourth official, Salima Bukansanga, was one of the referees at the Women's World Cup, and she's been used here as a fourth official during this World Cup as well.
I think you're right, Nigel. Straight away, Shamani definitely got the ball first.
Now Kolo Muani at the other end, but coming across to make the challenge was Gandry, who had the goal disallowed in the first half, and it will be a throw-in for France. Still goalless as well between Australia and Denmark in Al Wakra. So at the moment, Australia are going through Denmark have dominated possession in that game. Commentary continues over on TalkSport 2. France trying to build here. Verretou wins a header on the edge of the penalty area, but Tunisia will clear. Now they'll try and break. It's hooked forward, but cut out by Guendouzi. Rondani was trying to play it wide to the far side. Guendouzi then loses out in the challenge. Careers into another one, but doesn't get the ball, and eventually a very scrappy period of play ends with Verretou knocking the ball out on the far side for a throw to Tunisia.
Well, do you know what the standout feature is? I think Didier Deschamps has realised how physical the Tunisian team is and thinks, well, I might get one or two injuries in this game because they're just relentless pressing and making tackles all over the pitch.
And the songs boom out again from the left-hand side of Education City Stadium, and the drums are beating as well. It's classic World Cup occasion here as Tunisia look to build again. They've got to win this game. A draw won't be enough for them. Laidouni sweeps it wide towards the far side. Ankesh Rida will try and take on Camavinga, who slides in to make the challenge. Good defending from him. He then comes away with the ball over the halfway line, but he turns into the challenge of Sahiri, and it's won back by Kashrida. And Tunisia here have half a dozen white shirts forward around the penalty area. Romhane down the left-hand side, has support on the overlap, but he pulls it back and he plays it straight to Choumeni, and France are able to clear, and Coman puts on the afterburners to turn away from the challenge of Talbi, who was running in treacle on this near side. Kingsley Coman now breaks towards the edge of the penalty area, has support from Kolo Muani, but goes all the way back to Choumeni on the halfway line. Now for Fana, in towards Coman, back towards Coman again. He's quick, but not that quick as the ball goes behind him and out of play for a goal kick.
Well, Kingsley Coman definitely had the beating of Talbi, the right back. Just couldn't take advantage of it. But what a wonderful piece of play just now by Laidouni in midfield for the Tunisians. Brilliantly played. Great one-touch football. Really good football.
Now Varane has gone down. He challenged Khazri, won the ball, but seemed to be wrapped on the left heel, and he's hobbling away from that. Of course, France had so many injuries in the build-up to the tournament. Pogba, Conte, Hernandez and Benzema, all unavailable and all probable starters in this team, as Mondonda, who certainly isn't the backup goalkeeper this evening, hammers the ball straight out of play on the far side, and we can see Didier Deschamps biting his nails in the technical area. It's been that sort of game for him so far.
Well, it's been the theme of the match. It's been one-way traffic. It's been Tunisia all the time.
Now Malou, Laidouni works a dummy and then tries to break into the penalty area, and Laloun continues, fires towards goal, and it's over the top. Well, the French player went down inside the box looking for a free kick. It was Fofana, but nothing was given, and Laidouni swept a shot towards goal but was just too high.
Well, Fofana just collapsed. You're seeing Laidouni coming behind him. There's no problem for me with that challenge, but Fofana just fell to the ground. I don't know if he clipped his heel, maybe. Laidouni.
Well, Didier Deschamps said before this game, we have room to change, but we don't want to undervalue Tunisia. Doesn't look like that, does it?
No. I've got to say, I think this has surprised not only the French manager, but the French team that were out there playing against them, because they knew they were going to in for a tough encounter, but this has proved to be way more difficult.
And Fofana is receiving treatment on this near side. Still goalless between Australia and Denmark. And don't forget, the only place you're going to hear from Hall Hawksby and Andy Jacobs during the group stage is in the new daily podcast, H&J Back Home. The latest episode is available to download and enjoy right now, and you can subscribe from wherever you get your podcast to make sure you don't miss a second of Paul and Andy's take on everything happening here in Qatar. Such a big time for sport right across the TalkSport network. Saturday 10 o'clock, Fury Chisora live from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the WBC World Heavyweight title, live on TalkSport, only on TalkSport, and you can get that on air by your smart speaker or on the TalkSport app for free. As Kashrida comes forward again for Tunisia, down the right hand side, he goes down, and Not sure if he was fouled or has won a throw, and it's a throw, and it's taken quickly towards Slimane, but it's headed away by Veratu. Camavinga is quickly boxed in. His clearance squirts down the line off Keshrida, and it will be a French throw-in. We have played 54 minutes here on Talk Sport at Education City Stadium in Doha. It is 0-0 between the reigning champions and Tunisia. Tunisia must win this game. They have been the better side throughout, but at the moment the French are just holding them at bay.
Again, the right back, Keshrida, he's been really a problem. Camavinga will look forward to the end of this game. He's been, he's had Slimani to deal with, he's had Keshrida all on the right side, and again, I have to mention it because Guendouzi is not helping him. He needs to double up.
Australia-Denmark currently on TalkSport 2 with Joe Shannon and Dean Ashton. Here on TalkSport at 7 o'clock, the conclusion of Group C, Poland-Argentina with Alex Crook and Stuart Pearce. Over on TalkSport 2, Mark Wilson and David Connolly will bring you Saudi Arabia against Mexico. All four teams can still qualify for the round of 16. Tomorrow, Croatia-Belgium on TalkSport at 3 o'clock in Group F. Canada-Morocco will be on TalkSport 2. And then Group E in the evening, 7 o'clock, Germany-Costa Rica on TalkSport. Japan against Spain on TalkSport 2. Sunday, 7 o'clock, England against Senegal in the round of 16. And earlier that day, if things stay as they are, we will also have the French at 3 o'clock in their tie against the runners-up in Group C. All the noise is Tunisian noise inside this stadium at the moment as Charmeni plays it forward towards Fofana, but his first touch was heavy and Tunisia will clear up to the halfway line. Here is Laidouni, who plays his club football for Ferencváros in Hungary, a regular in the Champions League and the Europa League in recent years. Now Malul on this near side, sweeps it across towards Kasri, unable to control, but he got something on it, and as a result the ball will be recovered on the far side by Keshrida. And now the ball swept into the area looking for Kasri, and Disasi controls the ball 6 yards out, and in the end Mondonda belatedly comes out and picks it up.
Well, I've got to say, Grandry got the ball out wide on the right. Guendouzi's got to close him down. They're putting in crosses regularly into the 18-yard box and gave a real difficult decision there. I thought France got away with that one.
56 minutes played, Tunisia 0, France 0 on TalkSport at the 2022 World Cup. Here is Guendouzi, back again to Varane, who seems to be okay now in those orange boots after the earlier problem following that challenge with Kasri. He turns towards this near side, then back towards Mondonda again, who does not look comfortable with the ball at his feet. He clips it up to the halfway line. Coman, though, loses out in the challenge with Laidouni. Goes down clutching his face as a high ball is swung to the far post, but Mondonda is able to claim, and Tunisia are about to make a change here, and Islam Jabali will be coming on, the centre forward, as they look to give their attack more of a cutting edge.
Well, who does he take off, I think is the question, because every one of the Tunisians has been excellent tonight.
And here is Kasri coming forward again now, down the centre, options left and right. Kasri looks to continue into the penalty area. Oh, what a goal! A brilliant goal from Wabi Kasri! And Tunisia have taken the lead, and this stadium is shaking. Wabi Kasri took them all on in a buccaneering run down the centre, and then slipped in low beyond Mondonda, and Tunisia at the moment have the goal they need to go through, and the world champions are behind. It is Tunisia 1, France 0, and on the balance of play, it is entirely deserved.
Well, I'm just looking at Didier Deschamps. He's told a number of French players to get warmed up, and you've got to give credit to Kasri. What a great goal. The captain, the man that plays his football in France. What a goal. He literally drove towards the 18-yard box with the whole of the French back four. It's Canati. It's Fofana who makes a mistake in Italy. It breaks the Khazri, he runs at the back line, and they all back off. And as he backs off, he dummies to shoot, and then gets on his left foot and doesn't quite strike him, but it goes in the bottom corner. What a great goal by Khazri.
And he was caught in the act of shooting there by Disassi, and Khazri may have to come off here. So his final act was scoring the goal. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fabulous finish. He doesn't strike it with much venom, but it was the ability to cut in off his right onto his left, and it just trickles in the bottom corner. Bondanda is left stranded, and now I think he's been substituted.
He's gone off, and it's Issam Jabali who has come on. And you've got to say they deserve it.
That's a strange one. He scored a goal, he gets substituted. He's been superb tonight, Khazri.
But maybe he's not quite got the legs.
Yeah, well, he looked like he was on his last legs when he received the pass. But what a great finish. The whole of the back line of France literally backpedalled. No one could get in a challenge.
So the situation in Group D at the moment, France on top with 6 points. Tunisia have jumped from 4th to 2nd. They have 4 points, and they are ahead of Australia on goal difference at the moment. Their goal difference, Tunisia, is 0. Australia's is -2, and Denmark are bottom of the group with 2 points and a goal difference of -1. At the moment, Tunisia have the scenario they're looking for. Wahbi Khazri, the goal scorer. He has since departed. His 25th international goal. And I've not been to a better atmosphere in the World Cup so far this tournament.
Oh, it's been fabulous in here tonight. And you've got to say, from the very first minute, it's been absolutely superb by Tunisia. And the stadium is rocking. And rightly so, this team has lifted the stadium with all these Tunisian fans in. It's been a really brilliant performance so far.
There will be a double change made by the French very soon, and one of them is Kylian Mbappe. And I'm sure that Didier Deschamps did not want to make that change, but at the moment his team have been overrun here, and there should be a free kick to Tunisia, because it did seem that Disassi blocked off the challenge on this near side. Tunisia are fuming because one of their players is down on the halfway line, but now it's won back by Jabali, and the referee eventually stops play because it's a head injury.
Yeah, well, this game has been frenetic, really, from one moment to the next. It's been, well, he just clashes there with Disari.
Romane is the player who is down, and the coach, Jad El Kadri, was quick to appeal because it was a shoulder to the side of the head from Disassi. But what a scenario we have here. But Australia have just taken the lead in their game, and there could be relief for them, and that could deny Tunisia.
Wow, it's been, the final group stage games, so much can happen, and the delight for the Tunisian fans. We're all in the news pretty soon that Australia have taken the lead.
Matt Leckie has scored the opening goal there. Australia 1, Denmark 0. Over on TalkSport 2. Here, Tunisia 1, France 0. And Tunisia have now been dropped down to 3rd place in the table. The French on top. Australia also would have 6 points. Their second. Tunisia would have 4. So Tunisia now need Denmark to score once again. But in any event, of course they want to go through, but a win over France would be some achievement, as these changes are being made now. And in fact, the first player who has come on is Adrien Rabiot. Saliba, Mbappe and Rabiot are all coming on for France. Rafa Varane, Kingsley Coman are two of the players who are going off. The play will restart with a drop ball here, and Jordan Veretout is also replaced. So we know where Mbappe will play. Rabiot will come into midfield, and Saliba will play at the back. And goodness me, this has not been a French performance that will fill their supporters with any real confidence, and it's a fairly critical football nation, as you know, Tony, and they're the world champions, they're through, but if they lose this game, L'Équipe will be scathing tomorrow morning.
Well, you know, so much expectations put on France, and rightly so. They've got a, you know, huge quality, big driving squad that you can feel that with the very best team they can really match the best. As Mbappe's caught offside.
Mbappe caught offside on the far side, looking to go above Zinedine Zidane in the French scoring charts tonight. He currently has 31 goals, 14 in his last 12 games, and he scored 7 times at a World Cup, including 3 here. And if he scores tonight, he will break Pelé's record by being the youngest player to score 8 goals at a World Cup. Only Pelé had done it previously under the age of 24. But Tunisia remain on top. The French have not had an attempt on goal in the second half, and we played 20 minutes.
Yeah, Nigel, from the start of the game, they've been second best to the Tunisians. You know, now they're trying to get a lift, bringing on Rabiot, obviously Saliba, who I'm delighted to see get an opportunity, and Mbappe. That definitely makes them a better team.
Tunisia 1, France 0 on Talk Sport. 65 minutes played at the Education City Stadium, but at the moment this won't be enough for Tunisia, because Australia are leading Denmark by 1-0 thanks to the goal from Matt Leckie. Now Charmeni for France, plays it back to Konate. Konate now has a new central defensive partner, William Saliba of Arsenal, alongside him. And he plays it wide to the former Arsenal player, Guendouzi. Now Charmeni, but the challenge comes in to quickly win it back, and it was Jabali who was fouled by Charmeni in the end, and it will be a free kick for Tunisia.
Well, Jabali's just taking over Karazi, really. He's, you know, battling away, leading the line.
Free kick, which will be taken by Talbin. Wide to this near side, looking for Jabali, but it's headed away. Guendouzi nods it in field, but it's cut out by Sakhiri. Down the line again on this near side by Malul, but it spins away off Jabali, and it will be a throw-in for France. They trail by 1-0. The world champions here have really been shown up by Tunisia, as Jabali was caught late by Charmeni, but the referee, Marconja, allows play to continue. Jabali is still down, and there was an opportunity for Rabiot to bring it forward on the far side, but he's closed down by Meria, and Tunisia want the treatment once again for Jabali, who is still down inside the French half, and players eventually halt him.
Yeah, he's holding his ankle. Oh.
We now have a pitch invader here as well, who performs a couple of cartwheels before half a dozen security members swoop on him, and you would imagine he won't see any more World Cup football here. One of the Tunisian players, the captain, Malul, is actually telling the security staff just to take it easy with someone who is presumably a Tunisian fan, but he now is carried off down one of the side tunnels here inside the Education City Stadium. Midpoint of the second half here on TalkSport. Tunisia 1, France 0. Much changed French team here, and at the moment they are heading to defeat. And can Kylian Mbappe give them something else? But Jabali has won it back now from Saliba, quickly plays it forward to Ladouni, who is inside the penalty area left-hand side, but the challenge comes in from Konate. It will be a corner, but again the French giving the ball away so cheaply.
Absolutely, and Saliba again battering away, and it's this time Saliba who misses the challenge, and it just allows Ladouni to win a corner. He gets behind the French back line.
Australia still lead Denmark by a goal to nil. 68 minutes played there over on TalkSport 2. Tunisia leading by a goal to nil here. Malul will take the corner kick. And it's an outswing, a scuffed effort towards the near post. Jabali claims that the final touch was off Camavinga, but the referee disagrees and it will be a goal kick. Wabi Kazri with the goal. But it won't be enough for Tunisia. They would be edged out by Australia, who lead Denmark by a goal to nil. And we all anticipated before the tournament that Denmark and France would walk this group, and how wrong we could be, Tony.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, what I've seen from the Tunisian team tonight has been pretty extraordinary. They've battled away, they've showed quality, they've set up, they've just made it so difficult for France. And yes, it's not the first best 11 of the French team, but even so, there's still a lot of quality players up what they're up against.
Now Rabiot plays it back to Fofana on the halfway line. Tunisia can drop now because they have something to defend, but it's been given away by Rabiot. There's an opportunity for Tunisia to bring it forward now. Ladouni over the halfway line. What a game he's had. Wide towards Malul. Curled into Jabali, who brings it down on the edge of the penalty area. Jab wide to this near side, and a break into the box now, and a real opportunity for Rondane, but he just took his time to try and assess his options, and in the end it's been given away. Saliba wins the ball back, but now France, in their attempt to bring it forward, almost give the ball away themselves, but Sakiri has been penalised, and it will be a free kick for France with 20 minutes to play here on TalkSport. Tunisia leading by a goal to nil.
Well, Jabali has been in pretty much a carbon copy of what Kazri was for Tunisia, battling away, fighting for every ball.
Don't forget, coming up later on, Group C, Poland against Argentina with Alex Crook and Stuart Pearce. Mark Wilson and David Connolly on TalkSport 2 will bring you Saudi Arabia against Mexico. And another break now for Tunisia on the far side. The French are wide open defensively, and it's Kesrida with a powerful run forward, but in the end he runs into Kanate, and the French can bring the ball away. And Rabiot, who scored in the opening game against Australia, plays it wide to this near side, and Guendouzi. I can't believe Guendouzi's still on the field, Tony.
No, and I've seen him play nearly every position in the middle of the park. He's played left side, central, and now on the right, and every one of them he's not done very well.
But now Kolo Muani's in space down the right-hand side, tries to break into the penalty area, but he's held up initially by Gandry. Desperate defending from Tunisia because Mbappe was completely unmarked. But now it's brought clear, and Shaqiri does well. He was on the ground, but he won the ball, and now he drives through the challenges over the halfway line. What a run from him, and eventually he was closed down by Saliba. Tunisia are leaving absolutely everything out there.
Well, I can't. I've seen some performances, but this is up there with one of the very best.
Now Mbappe on the far side, turns infield onto the right foot, crosses in over the head of Guendouzi, and it swirls behind for a goal kick.
Well, Mbappe getting the ball, and he's getting booed every time he gets on it, and the Tunisian fans are absolutely giving it to him.
Australia still lead Denmark by a goal to nil, and Antoine Griezmann is coming on here for France, and the player he is replacing is Youssouf Fofana. So they've turned to Mbappe, Griezmann, Rabiot and Saliba in the second half.
Yeah, well, another experienced player, you know, part of the team that won the World Cup in 2018, Antoine Griezmann. His club form's not been that great. Really, he's had his struggles, certainly from going to Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. But Didier Deschamps has kept him involved.
The Eagles of Carthage still leading here by a goal to nil with 73 minutes played here, but the world champions moving forward now with Mbappe. But again, it's a dreadful pass forward from him, way beyond Rabiot, and behind for a goal kick. The Tunisians will be making another change soon as well.
Well, I can't believe what I'm witnessing. The French haven't done anything right so far tonight. Even the substitutes have come on. Mbappe, as brilliant as he can be, has given every ball away so far. in the 4 or 5 touches he's had.
Galen Chaeli will be coming on, plays for Esperance, one of the big clubs in Tunisia, one of the most successful sides in African football. And this change being made now, and it's Ben Romhane who is coming off to be replaced by Chaeli.
He's done very well, Romhane. Played really well tonight.
A look at the watch. 16 minutes to play, and even if Tunisia go out tonight, if they beat the French, that will go down as one of the best results in their history. And they're coming forward again. They've asked all the questions in this game. Konate, though, closing down Jabali, and now Rabiot on the far side under pressure, but he's been fouled and it will be a free kick.
Well, it's a scenario where the fans will have half an eye on what's happening in the other game between Australia and Denmark, but the players on this pitch have to just focus on seeing this game out. But so far they've been impeccable.
Australia still lead Denmark by a 1-0. They're going through in second place, level on points with France as it stands. And our wall-to-wall World Cup coverage continues following the live action with the Sports Bar at 10 o'clock tonight with Jason Cundy and Jamie O'Hara. 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, Alan Brazil is back on breakfast once again. And then from 10, White and Jordan with the World Cup game day warm-up live from Qatar with more big-name interviews as Dessassi brings it forward for France on this near side, the right, back towards Guendouzi. 15 minutes to play. France, the world champions, a goal down to Tunisia. And generally, they have been outplayed in this game, but there's still time. Here is Mbappe. Tunisia need Denmark to score. Now Guendouzi. And that game continues over on TalkSport 2. As our unrivaled coverage of the 2022 World Cup continues. Now Camavinga is forward down the left-hand side. He turns in field, but he's challenged by Sahiri. Shameni back towards Konate. Rabiot takes over. Mbappe in towards Camavinga again, and for the first time in a long time, the French are stringing passes together inside the Tunisian half. Griezmann, though, is quickly closed down by Gandry. But Griezmann continues. There's a Tunisian player down. And Griezmann is eventually challenged by Malou, who has gone down clutching his face, but the French have a throw-in on this near side.
Well, Malou was down on the ground and then he sprang up off the floor and made a challenge. His own player.
$43,627 is the crowd inside the Education City Stadium here tonight. And the Tunisian fans have finally seen their team score a goal at the World Cup, and what a goal to savour. But Australia, around the same time, scored a goal themselves, so they lead by a 0-0. They are going through over on TalkSport 2 as Dessassi loses out on this near side, and it will be a free kick for the French, and Guendouzi is looking to take it very quickly.
I can't look at all the challenges. Lardouni in midfield has made so many challenges and won the ball back for Tunisia tonight.
Now Camavinga comes in field. Time running out here for the French. 77 minutes play. They lose this game by a 0-0 at the moment. And there will be another change very soon. Ousmane Dembele is coming on. They're picking all the big guns now. Now Guendouzi. Down the right-hand side in towards Kolo Muani. But he's quickly closed down by Lardouni, who turns around and urges the crowd to bring the noise once again. And Guendouzi is coming off and Ousmane Dembele is coming on.
Well, Nigel, it finally happened. You know, Guendouzi found it very difficult tonight, but they've got now four forwards. Certainly, if you look at Mawani, got Dembele, Mbappe, Griezmann.
Now Mbappe plays a 1-2 with Griezmann, moves towards the edge of the area, back to Griezmann again, Colin Mawani. Griezmann down the right-hand side, but he's closed down, but it ricochets wide to Dembele, his first involvement in the game. Down the right-hand side, cross towards the far post, and it's scrambled away by the goalkeeper, Darman. We barely mentioned him, he's had nothing to do, the goalkeeper.
Well, I think it's pretty clear now, this last 10 minutes plus injury time, it's going to be one-way traffic with the intentions of France with so many bodies on.
Mbappe now to the byline left-hand side, but sliding in is Keshrida to make the challenge, and the French have only their third corner. Tunisia have had 7.
Well, he's another player that's played the right back for Tunisia, Keshrida. He's done brilliant tonight.
Griezmann will take the corner kick on the far side. It will be an outswinger. Everybody back defending here for Tunisia. It's high towards Disasi with the header. Rose highest. It took a deflection though. It's over the top for another corner.
Yeah, very close there. Disasi attacked the balls. It got whipped in by Antoine Griezmann. He just can't get it down. And it just takes a Tunisian player that gets the final header.
Australia still lead Denmark by a goal to 0. They will go through ahead of Tunisia as it stands. Denmark will finish bottom of the group. Griezmann will take the corner kick. It's an in-swinger, headed away at the near post by Jabali. Cleared downfield, but it was a tired clearance, an unnecessary one really from Malul, because Jabali was in control of that situation. Now it's wide to this near side, and Disasi crossing from him as a poor one, headed away, and Tunisia managed to win the ball back in midfield, but Dembele steps in, and now Jabali turns and forces Charmeni back to the halfway line. And Tunisia here are just looking to sit in here and hold on to the lead, and we are inside the final 10 minutes. Tunisia 1, France 0, but here is Mbappe cutting infield, plays the cross in low, it's deflected, and in the end it goes behind. I don't think the goalkeeper knew where it was there, or he was convinced it was a goal kick because he allowed the ball to go and the French have a corner.
Absolutely, Adama there. He hasn't read it right, because Mbappe cut inside and he takes the deflection off his own player and he decides to let it go, and France have got the rewards of a corner.
Australia still 1 up on TalkSport 2. Tunisia 1 up here. The corner in from Griezmann into the 6-yard area. Colin Mawani is challenging for it. The back heel from him. It breaks out to the edge of the penalty area. Now Dembele fires in the shot, gathered with both hands by Darman.
Well, France, after just close to 80 minutes, have decided to turn up tonight. So Tunisia have got to really hold on to what they've got.
Darman clears long downfield. Jabali is underneath it, but so too is Disasi on this near side. The header is then won by the player who has just come on, Chaleli. But now Saliba picks out the run over the halfway line of Disasi. 8 minutes to play plus normal time here, and Tunisia concede another free kick. Laidouni just grabbed hold of Disasi as he looked to move over the halfway line, and it will be a free kick. Saliba quickly takes it. Marcel Desailly is watching on here tonight. Doesn't look too impressed by what he's seen, it must be said. Now Camavinga. He's fouled on the halfway line by Shahiri. And there will be another Tunisian change here. And they are taking off Slimane, the striker. And they are making a defensive change. Ali Abdi, who plays for Caen in France, in the second division, he will come on.
Yeah, and I've got to say Slimane's been superb tonight. I mean, you could say every one of the Tunisian players has been brilliant, but he's another one who's caused problems for France, plus never stopped running, challenging. Brilliant.
Free kick for France. Tunisia retreat once again towards the edge of their own penalty area. Australia are still a goal up on Denmark. They are going through. They will deny Tunisia a place in the round of 16. Ladouni, wide to the far side. Tunisia have never made progress, but this would be a notable win for them here, and only their third in 18 games at a World Cup. Mexico in 1978 in their first ever World Cup match, and they also beat Panama at the end of the group stage in 2018. But the French are on the verge of dropping points in a group stage yet again. It would be 12 in a row. They've won a lot, but often they're not convincing early on. But maybe that's tournament football for you. Here is Griezmann. Very few of the French starting lineup have put their hands up here and said to Didier Deschamps, pick me for when it really matters.
Well, they've certainly, the commitment of the Tunisian team is what they've done in this game, just relentless pressing, closing down, and with quality as well.
Now Mbappe, crossed in from the left-hand side. Dembele gathers at the far post, onto the left foot, a cross in deep again, volleyed by Rabiot across the face of goal, into the ground and behind for a goal kick.
Well, that was a really decent chance when Mbappe made the crossfield pass to Dembele with his right foot. He controls it, and as he takes his touch, he puts a crossing with his left. And Rabiot, okay, it's a difficult one, but it's on the volley, and he just hits it out towards the corner flag.
Just over 5 minutes to play. Tunisia 1, France 0 here on TalkSport. Over on TalkSport 2, Australia 1, Denmark 0. The Socceroos are going through as it stands with the reigning champions. Now Jabali, and brave Tunisia would be denied. Griezmann, wide towards the far side again. It's left by Camavinga for Mbappe. Into Griezmann again, he sweeps it forward, but it's blocked by Sahiri. And Tunisia had the opportunity to break quickly, but they try and play the ball around, and then Kashrida plays it forward looking for Jabali, who's involved in a wrestling match with Konate, and he's fouled once again, although he's penalised once again. It's a free kick to France.
Yeah, and the referee there straight away gave a foul against Jabali. Konate starts off the play again into Choumani.
Now Dembele on this near side. He's quickly closed down, and in the end all he can do is just run the ball out of play via Ali Abdi, and it will be a throw-in for France. There's a Tunisian player down again who may require some treatment, and it's Malul, who has given so much for them, operating on this near side.
Yeah, Malul has done really well. Just seen a replay of the goal by Khashoggi. Watching the stadium go crazy.
Well,
and the players.
Whatever happens, this performance of that goal will be a huge source of national pride for Tunisia. But here is Dembele now. Has he run the ball out of play down the right? He has. It's a goal kick, and so far Mbappe, Dembele, Griezmann not done it.
No, they found it so hard. I mean, you know, you win your first two games, you get in a comfortable position, you make 9 changes that Didier Deschamps has done, and from there you're expecting people to come into the team, maybe have the opportunity to shine. Well, I think Tunisia surprised them from the very first minute, and they just kept it going. And look, we're going into the final 5 minutes of the game with a bit of extra time, and they're still 1-0 up, Tunisia, and deservedly so.
Don't forget, coming up at 7 o'clock, another big game, Poland-Argentina, with Alex Crook and Stuart Pearce. TalkSport 2 has Saudi Arabia against Mexico, the conclusion of Group C. Now Griezmann plays it wide to this near side, and Dembele, who comes infield onto the left foot, but the ball is beyond Griezmann. An opportunity for Tunisia to try and clear, and they play their way out, and now there could be a break on this near side for Malul, and he plays it down the line. He invites the chase forward on this near side from Abdi, but it's all the way back to Mondonda.
Well, I still feel France are going to get one big chance. Can Tunisia really hang on and just stop them?
Here is Mbappe. coming in field from the left-hand side. Now Griezmann. Rabiot takes over. Camavinga down the line for Mbappe, who bobs and weaves away from one challenge into the penalty area, fires the ball in, and it's palmed away by Darman.
Well, Darman made a decent save there because Mbappe come on his left foot and then just twisted onto his right and hit it first time with pace. But Darman read it and made a good save.
Dembele with the ball into the penalty area, and again it's a poor one. Sakiri will bring it clear. Clever change of pace from him. He breaks over the halfway line. He had Jabali ahead of him, but the ball never found him, and it's claimed by Mondonda.
Well, I'm looking literally as we come to 90 minutes. I think this Tunisian team, they're nearly shot to pieces with how much effort they put in.
Into the 90th minute, Tunisia leading France by a goal to nil. It would be a massive shock in this World Cup, but it won't be enough for Tunisia. But now Mbappe finding Griezmann, and there's an opportunity, fired low and wide, and it was a great chance for Kolo Muani, but I think it was another brilliant save by Ayman Darman.
I think Darman does brilliant here again. Interchange play by Griezmann and Mbappe, and he eventually comes out. But Balumi, great save.
Griezmann with the corner in towards the far post. It's very deep, way outside the penalty area. Camavinga will recover down the left-hand side. 20 seconds of normal time to play. It's headed up in the air by Rabiot inside the penalty area. Flicked on, and the goalkeeper stayed. And in the end, Gandry with a meaty right boot just hammers the ball away on the far side for a throw-in.
Well, again, the final stages of the game.
8 added minutes. 8!
Wow, that's a bit long for... I mean, look, there's been a lot of substitutions, Nigel.
So there's still time for France. They're heading towards added time as well in Al Wakra, as the ball again spins behind for a goal kick. Australia still leading Denmark by a goal to nil in that game.
Well, Tunisian goalkeeper Darman's pulled off a couple of saves late on in this match. Can he just keep his team taking a little bit longer, and rightly so, before he takes the goal kick?
We are into added time. Tunisia leading France. It may be too late for them, but it would be a result they will talk about for many, many years. Now Saliba. Square to Konate. Griezmann takes over, flips it wide to the left-hand side, and Camavinga. They're heading towards added time as well in the Australia-Denmark game. Mbappe coming forward now, looks to break in field. He goes down. Oh, and he's got the free kick right on the edge of the penalty area, and this could be a French opportunity to draw level.
Well, it was desperation stakes there for Tunisia. Again, Griezmann and Mbappe getting both together, and as Mbappe come inside, just the slightest of pushes, and well, it's a little bit harsh on the Tunisian team, but it's in a great spot. It's just on, probably 20 yards out, 22 yards.
6 additional minutes in the game between Denmark and Australia, so it should finish just before this one, and it's still 1-0 to Australia. The conclusion of that game over on TalkSport 2. Mbappe over the free kick here for France, a goal down in added time against Tunisia. Griezmann is also eyeing up the free kick. He could hit it with the left or Mbappe with the right. Surely Mbappe will have a crack from here.
Absolutely. Well, this will be Mbappe, I'm sure.
It's a very tall, very long Tunisian wall. Mbappe sizing this one up, curls it right foot at the wall, does its job, it's into the wall, it rebounds back to Mbappe on the left hand side. The ball flipped in from him, the goalkeeper fumbles it on the goal line, Darman, but it's scrambled clear on this near side for a throw-in.
Well, again, the free kick was taken, and Randri done brilliantly well to get the block in. But it's all action, and it's literally France every time they're going forward now.
Disasi with a cross in, high to the far post. Mbappe will bring the ball under his spell. He can break into the penalty area. Keshrida, though, blocks the cross at the expense of a corner, and we have played 3 of the 8 additional minutes here on TalkSport, and it's France trailing Tunisia by a goal to 0.
Well, Kashrida has done what he's done all night, and that's get a block in.
And here is Mbappe from the short corner. The cross again is blocked by Kashrida. Camavinga now 25 yards out in a central area. Square to Saliba on this near side, all the way back to Shalmani. Can Tunisia hold on here for a famous victory? Saliba once again finding Dembele. Square towards Camavinga, and he was held back by Jabali. It will be a free kick for France, 15 yards inside the Tunisian half.
Yeah.
Denmark have a corner in the game against Australia. Tunisia need them to score. Australia hanging on in that game to a 1-0 scoreline, just as Tunisia are here. The corner from Dembele, wide to the far side, and Mbappe. Mbappe controls, crossed high to the far post over the head of Griezmann, and it's behind for a goal kick. The crossing's been shocking from France, isn't it?
Well, it has. You know, to be fair, Nigel, Tunisia was so dominant in the first 80 minutes of this game, and France have only come alive since Didier Deschamps made the substitutions. And even with that, their quality hasn't, and what we know they're capable of. And I've got to say, this performance by Tunisia has been unbelievable tonight, and it's all been down to commitment, desire, and yes, they're hanging on at the moment. Can they see it through?
Into the 95th minute on TalkSport. Tunisia 1, France 0. That corner for Denmark came for nothing, even though Kasper Schmeichel was inside the area. Australia lead, they're going through. Mbappe's poor ball forward is cut out quickly by Ladouni, and there's an opportunity to break over the halfway line now. Kashiri still full of running down the right hand side, all on his own. He slips as he tries to go beyond Konate, and in the end it's a goal kick.
Well, brilliant play. It's all started again with Ladouni, but Kashidi on the right side has just been fantastic as well tonight.
Schmeichel is forward for another Danish corner over on TalkSport 2 in Al Wakra, as France come forward again here. 5.5 minutes into added time. Tunisia leading by a goal to 0. Camavinga with the low ball in towards Mbappe, who brings it down inside the penalty area, but desperate defending, and it's guarded behind by Meria, and it will be another corner. The Tunisian bench are watching the footage from the Denmark game on a phone down there. That's modern football for you.
Yeah.
The corner came to nothing for Denmark, by the way. They still trail by a goal to 0. Corner kick here. Griezmann high into the penalty area, headed clear as far as Dembele on the edge of the box. Dembele shifts it wide to this near side. Rabiot takes over, wide towards Dembele once again. A low ball into Mbappe in space inside the penalty area. 3 Tunisian players very quickly converge on him, and eventually it's cleared away by Maloul up to the halfway line. They're into the final minute of added time in Al Wakra. Australia are going through at the moment. Tunisia will be denied. But here is Dembele. A cross whipped into the penalty area, headed away at the near post by Talbi. Tunisia have defended superbly in the second half, and now they try and break with some intelligence, but Ladouni just overruns it, and it's back with Disasi once again. It is all over. Australia have beaten Denmark. They will go through. Tunisia cannot progress even if they hold on here. Now an opportunity inside the penalty area for Mbappe. Australia will finish second in the group on goal difference behind France. France here pushing hard for the equalising goal. The Tunisian support momentarily silenced as Mbappe on the far side, the left, plays it further wide towards Camavinga. A low cross in is sliced away on the edge of the penalty area by Ladouni, and it will be a throw-in for France. And all Tunisia can play for now is a victory over the French, which is notable in many ways, but isn't what they were after. Now Dembele, low into the penalty area for Camavinga. Wide again towards the far side, the high cross into the boxes, headed clear, volley towards goal by Griezmann, and it's deflected in, and Tunisia are denied right at the very end. In the 97th minute, Antoine Griezmann has equalised for France and spared their blushes. It has been a poor performance from the reigning champions. Tunisia deserved the victory, but in the end they will have to settle for a draw on their way home. Tunisia won, France won.
Oh, how painful this is for Tunisia. They have done so well tonight. Yes, they've been hanging on in the last 10 minutes, and it's just, I mean, the only consolation, and it's not really a consolation, is the fact that Australia have got their result. But a goal by Anton Griezmann, the ball's bouncing around, a cross comes in for Camavinga, and it gets headed up in the air, and first time volley by Griezmann, and he beats the keeper Dalman for the first time tonight. Great finish, he strikes it well, gets a slight deflection, and it rolls in the bottom corner.
His 43rd goal for France, his first for 12 games for his country, and Tunisia will be distraught for so many reasons.
Yes, Nigel, really, really painful to see, because they put so much in as the game ends now. Literally, how painful this is for Tunisia.
Virtually the final kick of the game. Tunisian players slumped to the turf. They gave so much this evening. They were so close to beating the world champions, but Antoine Griezmann denying them right at the very end.
Well,
is that the final whistle?
No, cameraman was in the middle of the circle.
Yes.
And now is he blowing the whistle? What is he doing, the referee? Now he's looking for VAR.
He's going to the screen. There was a VAR check for a possible offside leading up to the goal.
Oh, this is so weird.
Well, the Tunisians were on the turf, they couldn't believe it. But now the referee, Matt Conja, has come across to this near side. They're looking at offside. Was Griezmann offside when the ball was played in? I think he was.
Well, he was as the ball played in, but it's the header up. It's headed up in the air by obviously the Tunisian defender. But Griezmann is certainly offside, and you could argue.
But is that the phase of play? Is that a new phase of play? Well, this is remarkable.
Well, he's definitely offside. He's standing offside position. The Tunisian defender heads it up in the air, and then he falls on the volley for Griezmann, and he volleys it in the back of the net.
Matt Conja, the referee, is talking to the VAR officials, who are both Qatari at the moment, and they're discussing this. Usually the referee doesn't get involved in offside decisions. He's coming back out onto the field of play now, and what has the referee given? No goal! Offside! And Tunisia celebrate!
Well, it's still painful for them, because they're going to find out Australia have won their game, but fair play to Tunisia. They've been brilliant tonight.
Wow. The Tunisians have had a reprieve. We are into the 100th minute, and Tunisia, it seems, will get their victory.
Well, he was standing in offside position. There's no doubt about that. Anton Griezmann.
But they took their time, didn't they?
Well, they took a long time, and the defender heads it up in the air, and then Anton Griezmann gets back on an onside position and volleys it into the back of the net.
Well, this game has had everything, and Tunisia still lead. We are into the 12th minute of added time. It's cleared downfield, straight out of play from the free kick. And how much longer will we have?
Well,
I thought he'd blown the full-time whistle before.
Well, the cameraman was standing next to him, and literally everybody in the stadium thought the game was finished.
Well, we play on here into the 103rd minute. Tunisia will try and clear the ball downfield. Jabali actually just hammers the ball all the way downfield, almost like a rugby player, and that is it. And Tunisia have their victory. The world champions are beaten. It is another surprise at the 2022 World Cup. Tunisia can celebrate a victory over the world champions. In the end, it is not enough to take them through. but they will end the tournament wreathed in smiles, and the French team will head into the knockout round with a number of question marks against some major players. What a finish. Tunisia 1, France